What up, WeHo? This year, the West Hollywood Halloween Carnaval turns 30, which means it is old enough to know better. Welcome to WeHoTV News. Happy October, West Hollywood! I'm Mike Siriaco, and I'm bringing you everything you need to know about WeHo, courtesy of the city of West Hollywood. It's been a busy month, and if you suffer from self-diagnosed adult ADHD, like I do, you're gonna need a refresher. So we're gonna bring you up to speed with the WeHo Wind-Up. Let's put 30 seconds on the clock. Our city was regaled with tales when Armistead Maupin visited WeHo Reeds. The Heidi Duckler Dance Company busted a move at the West Hollywood Library. Puerto Rico survived the wrath of Hurricane Maria, but will it survive the ineptitude of Hurricane Donald? Our Sapphic sisters shared their stories at National Coming Out Day. Catalonia Cal-exited, kinda, and Vice President Pence got up and walked out of a football game and ran directly to the men's locker room.
She told herself, there's no harm in just looking.
Blessed be the fruits, and blessed be the fruit of the looms, because here comes your news briefs. On October 5th, the West Hollywood Library hosted a free screening of the classic thriller Psycho in its community meeting room. Although I gotta say, if I want to see a socially awkward man-child with crippling mommy issues, I just turn on Grindr. And speaking of the West Hollywood Library, on October 6th, the Heidi Duckler Dance Theater celebrated the library's 6th anniversary with a performance of Back in Circulation, to which West Hollywood librarians responded, On October 14th, the City of West Hollywood, through the Russian Advisory Board and in conjunction with the Unity and Diversity Arts Foundation, hosted Opera Gala, a fully staged opera production in Plummer Park's Fiesta Hall. And I believe we have a clip of that performance. On October 28th, the City of West Hollywood's WeHo Arts Program and the West Hollywood Library presented Drag Queen Storytime. This month, a fabulous local diva read classic children's tales such as Where the Wild Things Vogue, Charlie and the Latex Factory, and Hunty Hears a Who. And finally, Plummer Park will host a Youth Halloween Carnival on Saturday, October 28th. This year's theme is Alice in Wonderland, although the motif may permeate into grown-up Halloween. Oh, come on, children are watching. Cover up those jumbly bits while I wrap up these news briefs. Calling all heroes and sheroes, because West Hollywood wants you. Over the past several weeks, a series of natural disasters have ravaged North America with hurricanes, floods, earthquakes, and wildfires. That's why the City of West Hollywood has reactivated West Hollywood Responds. First established in 2005 to provide assistance to the victims of Hurricane Katrina, West Hollywood Responds helps facilitate contributions from local residents and businesses to relief efforts for disaster victims. And this is how you can be a hero. Go to the website below and choose an organization to support. And, just like Batman's utility belt, you have a bunch of options. Between the hurricanes blowing through the Caribbean and Gulf region, the earthquakes rocking Mexico, and the wildfires blazing through California, you may want to contribute to general relief organizations such as Red Cross, Operation USA, and the One American Appeal. Or perhaps you want to focus on a more specific cause, such as Puerto Rico, where Hurricane Maria has left 3.4 million people without power. For some reason, the paper towels didn't help. At all. To help these fellow Americans with food, water, and other aid, you can donate to Oxfam, United for Puerto Rico, or Mercy Corps. And don't forget our four-legged friends. Animals have also been impacted by the back-to-back hurricanes, and you can help them by contributing to the Humane Society of the United States, ASPCA, or the South Florida Wildlife Center. These are just a few of the organizations that can use your support, so be sure to log on to West Hollywood Responds and do your part to be a hero for those in need. Meanwhile, over at the Book Cave, the West Hollywood Library, some local artists are celebrating a special anniversary. We go now to Eddie Robinson.
The beauty of the West Hollywood Library is ageless, and it's hard to believe that it opened 6 years ago. To celebrate that milestone, the City of West Hollywood's WeHo Arts Program partnered with the Heidi Duckler Dance Company to present Back in Circulation, reimagined for the timeless space. I'm Eddie Robinson, and this is WeHoTV News. Built by the city of West Hollywood and opened in 2011, the West Hollywood Library is regarded as one of the most remarkable pieces of public architecture in Southern California. It's known for its extended expanses of floor-to-ceiling glass windows that overlook San Vicente Boulevard below and the iconic Pacific Design Center to the east. We spoke to artistic director Heidi Duckler to find out how she reimagined back in circulation for the location and why the library as a performance space.
The piece is different every time we do it because we only rehearse on site. So we respond to the environment, and the West Hollywood Library, of course, is so beautiful. It's a very intimate space. So in this imagining, the audience gets to follow us and be in very cozy environments and very much about the public-private space.
Heidi worked with a myriad of collaborators to bring Back in Circulation to life.
I think with site work, it's like very possible to make it seem like maybe a chair isn't just for sitting. It feels really nice to kind of open it to the public. Everyone comes into a library.
Those in attendance were taken by the imaginative performance utilizing the library as its setting.
I can remember when not a sound could be heard in the library, and this has always been a community place, a gathering, lots of programs, and it lends itself, I think, to this kind of a performance, certainly.
For more information on upcoming events from the City of West Hollywood's WeHo Arts program, visit weho.org/arts. I'm Eddie Robinson, WeHoTV News. Mike, back to you.
Thanks, Eddie. While there was much to celebrate this month, there was also much to mourn. On October 1st, a man named Stephen Paddock opened fire from his hotel suite onto a country music festival in Las Vegas, killing 58 people and injuring 546 more. While this was the deadliest mass shooting in the recent history of the United States, this is far from the first and only. In fact, according to the New York Times, there have been 521 mass shootings between October 2nd and June 12, 2016, the day of the previous deadliest mass shooting in recent history, the Pulse nightclub massacre in Orlando, Florida. To be clear, that is 521 mass shootings in 477 days. Obviously, something needs to change, and the first step towards improvement is knowledge. So today, we'd like to debunk some myths surrounding gun control. The National Rifle Association has long insisted that allowing Americans to carry firearms makes communities safer. But John Donahue, a Stanford law professor, analyzed crime data from 1977 to 2014, and not only didn't he find any evidence that areas where more Americans carried guns had higher public safety or less crime, he in fact discovered the opposite.
We also can look at right to carry laws and say, we know on average crime is higher after these laws are passed relative to the states that didn't pass them.
According to Professor Donahue's analysis, violent crime in right-to-carry states was estimated to be 13 to 15% higher than the states that didn't adopt right-to-carry laws. So more guns lead to more gun violence. Well, then we should just increase gun control. Right, Senator John McCain?
To think that somehow gun control is, or increased gun control is the answer, in my view, that would have to be proved.
Gun rights enthusiasts habitually claim that there is no evidence that gun control reduces gun violence. But there is. Just look at Australia. After the 1996 Port Arthur massacre that claimed 35 lives, Australia passed legislation that tightly controlled semi and fully automatic weapons, like the ones Paddock used in Las Vegas. After that, Down Under didn't experience another mass shooting for over decades, and gun deaths significantly decreased. So why doesn't America do what the Aussies did? Well, somebody doesn't want gun control, and apparently that somebody is God. Isn't that right, Senator Chuck Grassley?
The Second Amendment recognizes the God-given right to self-defense.
First off, the same founding fathers who wrote the Constitution also believed in a separation of church and state, so let's keep God out of this. Thank you. Second, if you actually look at the Second Amendment, it doesn't say anything about self-defense.
Second Amendment is a short amendment adopted in 1791, and it just says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms will not be infringed.
From the beginning, the Second Amendment had nothing to do with individual gun ownership rights. In fact, the late Chief Justice Warren Burger described the idea that the Second Amendment gives an unfettered individual rights to guns as, quote, a fraud on the American public. It wasn't until the 2008 U.S. Supreme Court case, District of Columbia versus Heller, which shut down a law that banned handguns in the home, that the Second Amendment was applied to individuals. This change in interpretation is all thanks to the NRA. Since the 70s, this gun lobbying group has toiled tirelessly to reframe the Second Amendment and prohibit any form of gun control by perpetuating the aforementioned gun myths and funding politicians such as Pence and McCain and Grassley and all their fellow Republicans to legislate in their favor. The group spent over $50 million on the various 2016 campaigns alone. Why? Because the gun industry is a business, like Big Pharma or Big Tobacco. According to the Washington Examiner, 2017 gun sales are projected to surpass $25 million. And that's the real reason the NRA doesn't want any form of gun control. Because if gun control laws make it harder to buy guns, it also makes it harder for the NRA-backed gun industry to sell guns. And they want to sell as many guns as possible, even if it is to people like Stephen Paddock. And on a much lighter note, and higher note, we go now to Asher Rodriguez at Fiesta Hall.
Hey everyone, it's Asher Rodriguez from WeHoTV News, and I'm at Plummer Park where the sweet sounds of arias, art songs, and instrumentals are filling the air. Let's go take a listen. Sponsored by the City of West Hollywood, Plummer Park came alive for an exhilarating stage production of Opera Gala. Why was it important to bring this production to West Hollywood?
West Hollywood is a melting pot of diversity, cultural diversity, personalities, languages, everything you can possibly imagine. And they're going to be doing music from the Russian literature, Italian opera, some Broadway songs. So again, a very diverse program done by diverse artists.
Our production actually is a mix of all cultures together, and like West Hollywood is a mix of different nationalities, different people. So we also brought today Italian, French, Russian, Italian, Argentinian, Spanish music together, so I think people are gonna love it.
The evening included soaring vocals and soul-stirring performances of familiar classics, ranging from Puccini to Broadway.
In opera, we have pants roles, so women play men, and we have what I call skirt roles, where men play women. And theater in general is diverse, and opera is no spring chicken when it comes to affecting the change in community.
And in true West Hollywood fashion, the production ended with a bang. For more information about events in the city of West Hollywood, visit us at WeHo.org. Reporting from Fiesta Hall at Plummer Park, I'm Asher Rodriguez for WeHoTV News. Back to you, Mike.
Thanks, Asher. Continuing with the theme of art in WeHo, let's switch from the auditory to the visual.
Or if you want something visual, that's not too abysmal.
Good to know, Doc. We go now to Queer Khalifas. Remember when Donald Trump bloviated about making America great again? Well, over the past year, it's become increasingly obvious that this promise didn't include Latino Americans. From his threats to erect a border wall and repeal DACA, to his ambivalence towards a hurricane-ravaged Puerto Rico, Trump has firmly established an adversarial relationship with America's Latino communities. Trump's policies could potentially affect West Hollywood, where Latinos comprise nearly 15% of the city's population. In order to explore the Trump administration's influence on this demographic, we met with Ruben Esparza, the curator of Queer Khalifas, an LGBT Latinx art show debuting at Plummer Park's Great Hall as part of the city's WeHo Artes program. For Esparza, this show not only showcases the talents of the Latinx community, but also its rich diversity.
our community is really broad and large in the LGBT community and also in the Latinx community. In terms of the vision and the inspiration of all the artists, it's very broad. In terms of also of race, we're from European to mixed to indigenous. So it's kind of that spectrum that I wanted to touch on.
Queer Khalifas diversity is best evidenced by the participation of Romy Torrico.
Romy Torrico is a young, gender-neutral artist, and they express their artistry and their talents by creating these beautiful graphics that touches on social justice, having to do with trans issues, immigrant issues, and the like.
One of these themes, immigration, is especially personal for another artist featured in Queer Khalifas, Enrique Castrejon.
When I came to the United States, I came here illegally as a 6-year-old. And as part of going through the process of public education, I had to hide my immigration status. Couldn't say where I was coming from. And I had to learn quickly how to adapt and be able to just basically hide.
When not creating his cerebral, measured drawings, Enrique serves as a research coordinator for the Los Angeles LGBT Center. This position provides him with first-hand knowledge of another topic that permeates Queer Khalifas, HIV.
Earlier this year, the CDC released a statistic that 1 in 4 gay or bi Latino men would contract HIV. Now, what is it about this demographic that makes them so vulnerable to contracting HIV?
One thing would be the stigma of HIV, discrimination, migration and immigration, access to health services. Currently, you could actually see that the administration is not making it any easier.
The subject of HIV manifests in the oeuvre of Ruben Esparza in both subject matter and artistic medium.
And I've actually done some works from 20 years ago that I'll be showing that touches on HIV and AIDS, and it's works that has body fluids.
It's obvious Queer Khalifas provides a voice for Latinx artists, but would their biggest opponent, Donald Trump, even listen?
If Donald Trump were to suddenly show up at your show on the 4th, what would you want him to take away from your show?
Oh, I don't know if we'd let him in. No. I would do a walkthrough and very respectfully show him the work and see what he has to say.
When Queer Khalifas opens on November 4th, everyone is welcome to attend. Even you, Donald Trump. If only you could extend the same courtesy to the Latinx community.
Let's jump from Donald Trump to another proponent of grotesque creatures in cheap wigs and splotchy makeup, Halloween. We go now to our Clown Prince correspondent, Nick Catelli.
This year will mark the 30th anniversary of the West Hollywood Halloween Carnival, where people will gather on Santa Monica Boulevard sporting some of the best, most creative, and exquisite costumes you will ever see. They'll take in some great music and have some tricks and/or treats. I'm Nick Catelli for WeHoTV News, and this is the West Hollywood Halloween Carnival. I know. Oh, hi. Well, if you're like me, you know that the most difficult task is finding a Halloween costume for the carnival. Now, you could go home and get some accessories and put it all together in your parents' house, but they'd probably get mad and kick you out like mine did. Or you could come to Oz Ultimate Gift Shop on Sunset Boulevard. They have a huge selection of costumes for men and women, tons of scary Halloween decorations and special effects. They have pretty much everything. So let's take a look around and see what we can find out.
Usually I'm just hanging out in the middle school classroom and the kids are usually me for pranks and stuff, but you know, the good thing is like here, I'm a celebrity.
As you can see, they have a great selection of wigs here, but I think we found the scariest wig, which would be the billionaire wig. Yeah, it's pretty frightening. Also, as a reminder, remember the Halloween Carnival is geared towards more of adults. So if you can, we do ask that you leave your children and the puppy dogs at home. And it looks like he looks like he's firing me right now. Oh, this is really cool. They've got the Pennywise It, the popular movie this year. That's kind of cool. You can use it for Halloween and for kids' birthday parties. Now, just to let you know, this is a mask. This isn't just me getting up in the morning. But as a reminder, remember that parking is limited. So if you're going to come to the carnival, hitch a ride, because the scariest thing that you will probably see is the parking situation at the Halloween Carnival. Oh, this is neat. They got green body paint here, or I like to call this costume the My Liver Has Failed. Now this year for the carnival, we ask that you avoid bringing like big backpacks or things like that. If you do need to bring things to the carnival, we ask that you use a clear plastic bag for safety reasons. Now, the good thing is if you buy a costume here at Oz, you kind of automatically get a free plastic bag with your costume, so that's pretty cool. Now they have a huge selection of women's superhero costumes, which I think are amazing because you can use this for Halloween or just a good Saturday night in West Hollywood. I'm not gonna lie, I would probably get in a lot of numbers. That's not actually a Halloween costume behind me, that's actually a recreation of what kids were like before the internet was created. Now remember, the Halloween Carnival starts on, well, Halloween. It starts at 6 p.m. and it goes to 11 p.m. It can be found on Santa Monica Boulevard between La Cienega and Dolheny, so show up and have fun. I'm going to stick back. I'm going to see what kind of Halloween costume I can find to reveal at the carnival itself. So again, I'm Nick Catelli for WeHoTV News, and I will see you at the West Hollywood Halloween Carnival. Huh?
Thanks, Nick. To see which outfit Nick picked, be sure to check out next month's episode of WeHoTV News for our full coverage of the West Hollywood Halloween Carnaval. And for those of you attending the event, just keep in mind a couple of things. No alcohol or public drinking, no backpacks, camera cases, or tote bags, only clear plastic bags will be permitted. No weapons or drones, no bats or sticks, and no selfie sticks either. Kids and pets are strongly discouraged, and remember, if you see something, say something. If you see something that concerns you, find a sheriff's deputy or call 911. We'll be back in November with more news, noise, and nonsense. Until then, keep it cute, WeHo.